answers? I think I'm entitled.
You want answers!
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is Monday Mayhem. I hope you're having a great day. Folks, it isn't the fan. We've got military issues, we've got monetary issues, we've got legal issues, we've got education. It's all out there, and it's like weighing down. And the only thing that is keeping me up, right, is my faith that I know what's happening and I'm getting as best I can be prepared. Absolutely prepared for everything. Do you expect there to be leadership in Washington to save you? Folks, there's some interesting news that came out today. Oh, before I get into it, get your questions down below and then share this internet address. If it's on YouTube or BitChute or Rumble, share it. Get people to wake the hell up. We're in suspension right now on the Prepared Mind, on the Prepared Mind BC, and on John the Prepared Mind. Right now we're only on the Prepared Mind John. Good golly. Now, is it because I'm a bad person and you're bad people for listening to me that we've been silenced? Almost. Or is it that we have heartless, hopeless, gutless slugs in Washington, D.C.? Well, I can tell you what. Steve Bannon on his broadcast called them gutless. The Republican leadership in Washington is gutless. Why? Because they backed off on boycotting Budweiser and Bud Light and Bud products. You want to know why they backed off? Because Budweiser donates money to them. It's all about the money. Fuck you and your votes and your citizenship and your taxes and everything you do to make this country better. Look, me and you, we don't ever support unethical stupidity, regardless of the money, right? That's called selling out. But Republicans are like, oh, wait, we get money from Budweiser, so let's pretend like we don't see them trying to encourage children to look like fruitcakes and real men to go get in a sudsy bubble bath and put on some makeup and act like a complete ditz. These people have mental illness. You do not encourage it. You do not reward it. Folks, criminal behavior, do you encourage it? Do you reward it? No. But look what Democrats are doing in big cities. All their Democrat cities, they encourage it, they allow it, they support it. And so what do they got? A massive crime problem. We'll get into that. They're unethical, folks, for supporting Budweiser. It's immoral to support Budweiser because they're encouraging stupidity and mental illness and they're rewarding it. I don't give it. It was just a huge fucking sellout to see Donald Trump Jr. get up there and say, now let's back off of Budweiser. No, we're done backing off, giving them a break, giving them room, giving them a voice. I was at the store and I looked, and there it was. Bud Light Seltzers. If you want a fruity drink for fruit cakes, they can go get Bud Light Seltzers in the little skinny cans so they can get their little soy boy wrists and hand around it. Leave the beer alone. Too late. Fuck Bud. Oh, by the way, talking to sellouts that are gutless, came out today. I got this information from Mr. Skylight. Mr. Skylight. 40 Democrats. I think it was at least 40 Democrats and senators in the United States Congress. Guess what? They have dual citizenship. And I think this came through Jeffrey Prather of the Prather Report. They have not only American citizenship, but Chinese citizenship status. They're serving in Congress, having sworn an oath to China. You don't get to be a citizen, folks, unless you swear allegiance to that country. How can you serve two masters? Which master do you serve above the other? Can you trust Democrats Oh, I bet there's some Republicans too. And I don't care what other country it is. If you have sworn allegiance to another country and maintain and hold citizenship there, you should not be allowed to sit in Congress and spend money and determine policy and enforce the law and all the things that government officials do. No. These people, folks, need to be thrown out of office. Trust them? Fuck no. No. Not one iota bit. Anyways, I'm glad Steve Bannon jumped on that. What a day. Gonna sneeze. Could be cerveza. Right? Could be. And it's gone. All right. Now, a lot of things have come out today. And once again, I talked about robots, law enforcement. New York City promised, and now New York City has come through. Why is it that government, when it promises more police state, more laws that regulate and bring you down and cost you more tax money, why is it that they always come through on those promises? But their promise in an oath, I swear, right, to obey the Constitution, protect it against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that is a promise, and they break that. Fuck that, right, they say, but they'll stand up and go, yeah, we're going to bring you some robot law enforcement. So robot dogs have now joined NYPD. Folks, surrender or die. That will be every situation with these things. And hey, if you disobey a piece of steel, is that resisting arrest? If you disobey a robot, is that resisting arrest? Is that a violation of some rule? You have to listen to a fucking machine? Just like a dog is not a cop. A dog is not law enforcement. A dog at that point is a tool trained to attack humans. It's not a law enforcement officer. I love dogs. I love cats. I love animals. But when you put a police vest on a dog, it does not become a policeman. When you put a police sticker on a robot, it does not become a policeman. And when you put a badge in front of me or a government insignia, symbol, patch, sticker, it does not give it authority over me. Folks, that is the problem we have. Shit has hit the fan, and they expect you to believe that shit. That if a dog barks, you must stop. That if a robot speaks, you have to obey. That if another human says so, that you must, because they represent the government. The government is the servant. We are the master, and folks, that is why shit has hit the fan, because everything is backwards. Robot dogs in NYPD. Tune in next week. If it just saves just one life by killing hundreds and thousands, it's worth it. That's what the sappy idiot leftist said. How many people died from cerveza bug lockdowns? How many people went broke from cerveza bug lockdowns? How many people lost their businesses, their retirement, everything because of cerveza bug lockdown? What was the excuse? If it saves just one life, it's worth it. No, it's not. Valuing someone else's life over my liberty, the threat or the promise that someone else could get hurt if I don't do as they say, is wrong. I mean, let's just take it to an extreme to demonstrate how stupid it is. Telling you on planet Earth, if you don't pay more in taxes, all of the people who are on planet Mars are going to die. How many people are on planet Mars? It doesn't matter. If you don't pay your taxes, they die. It's a hollow, empty bullshit threat. It's a guilt tool. Unbelievable. And speaking of guilt tools, oh, are you getting your questions into Jolene? Are you getting them into Ooman? Now, guilt tool. It's just common sense gun control. No, it's not common sense. It's not. But Biden and his administration, that's right. Potato Joe, Gigi, dumbass Biden, let's go Brandon. They are lobbying for smart guns. Smart guns. What do you think a smart gun is? Take a shot at it. Smart gun. What could it possibly be? Could a smart gun be electronic? Oh, yeah. Smart gun is electronic, which means it has to have a battery, which means it needs to be charged. Smart technology means it's internet capable. Smart technology, smart gun. Do you think that the smart gun has to go through an app? Oh, no. It's just going to have a fingerprint ID or a palm print ID. So when you grab it, it knows who you are. Can you trust the government when it has a smart chip in it? What makes you think it isn't going to be connected? If the smart gun will not operate, if the hand doesn't match it, then guess what? Someone else can turn off your handprint too. Folks, shall not be infringed includes any and all safety devices. I know people love their locking gun cabinets or their safes. People love their trigger locks. I don't. I fucking hate all of them. I grew up in a world where guns were hung on the wall, where anyone could grab them and pull them off the wall if needed. Handguns went under the pillow or in the drawer next to the bed. There was no safe. There was no trigger lock. You wake up in the middle of the night. You hear a noise. Someone has entered your house. You turn on a light, they're going to find you. They're going to see you. How the hell do you find the key for the trigger lock on your gun to get it off while you're fumbling around? It's going to be hard enough to grab a weapon that's loaded, that has a round chambered, and take care of the problem as it is without having to fucking fumble around or remember a hand code on a safe. It's fucking stupid. It defeats the whole purpose of being able to defend yourself. But it's common sense and it's a safety device. Why don't we put breathalyzer testers on every single car? You get in your car, you want it to start, you've got to blow on it and prove that your blood alcohol content is low. That's common sense car safety. Shouldn't you have to take a 20-test questionnaire before you're allowed to drive your car with a lie detector system built in? And you've got to answer 20 questions about woke America. And you've got to say everything just right and not have any stress in your voice. You've got to pledge allegiance to Michelle Obama. You've got to swear to help crippled trannies cross the road. You've got to do and say all manner of things that proves you're a woke tard before your car will start and allow you to enter society's stream. Because it's common sense and for public health. And we couldn't have anybody in an automobile that could accidentally or intentionally run down one of our protected post-genocidal trantards. You see what I'm saying? They can call anything common sense and push it to a violent extreme, Now we come back to a safety device on a gun, a smart gun. Yeah, I just made the slippery slope analogy for all of this. But I think we've been slipping and fucking sliding down these slopes for a long, long time now. They've demonstrated all this is about is gun control and taking away your ability to use your gun and giving them the power and authority over you. Pay attention, folks. Pay attention. It's not a game anymore. It isn't. It really isn't. So this morning I talked about the insanity. A man took his dog to the vet for gender transition, right? To highlight, to show how stupid these people really are. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you went and checked it out. There's a link to it. There's a link to it. It's you can find it on Gateway Pundit. You can find it all over the internet. Right? The guy put his dog in a freaking pink tutu. And he came to the conclusion that, well, it wants to be a female. right? And this is what the guy actually said. We want to do a gender transition to make him female, but we don't want to neuter him, right? And then he says, you guys don't offer sex changes here? Right? It's just, you know, they said, we're not a behavioral clinic. And he says, I wouldn't call that behavioral. You're saying gender identity is behavioralism? Right? And then he was asked to leave. And the guy says, I'm reporting this to the LGBTQ plus -2 Association of America, and just walked out. Right? He fucking pranked him, folks, but it's time to stop the insanity. They're not going to give up. They will not stop. You want some more insanity? In Canada, a teen was suspended from Catholic high school, not a regular high school, but a Catholic high school. Why? Because he opposed transgender ideology. So he has now filed a human rights complaint. I thought we were all supposed to be free to make our own associations and come to our own conclusions as long as we don't hurt anyone else. It's just, what the fuck? Now, folks, also within the Catholic Church, there is a huge battle going on. Huge battle going on. It's interesting. It's fascinating. It's scary as hell what these people are doing. Now, last night, we were asked the question, or it was brought to our attention that in the state of Washington, the state has now passed a law that says the state can take your child away from you if you deny your minor, underage, not an adult child the sex change operation they want. This is Cottage Farm brought this story up. Well, this is interesting. Elon Musk has proposed a harsh penalty for adults who sterilize their innocent children with this crap. And he said that they should be put in jail with no chance for parole. I actually think it should be the death penalty. Because let's see. If you kill someone, then you can get the death penalty. But if you maim somebody, I don't know, maybe life in prison is best. I still think the death penalty would apply because it's your own kid and you've sterilized them and you've screwed with their head. You have all but destroyed them. The only thing you haven't done is extinguish their lives. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's not just a local problem, folks. The bullshit goes all the way to the top. Now get this, right? In New York, right? In New York, the feds have decided that they're going to arrest somebody. The Eastern District of New York, the FBI, folks, Eastern District of New York says this. They released a statement. This afternoon, Principal Deputy Assistant Attorney General, talk about a fucking title. Principal Deputy Assistant Attorney General for National Security, David Newman. Right. They will host a press conference. And there's a bunch more names and a bunch more shit. Everyone wants to sound so sonorous and high that they shit marble. They're so fucking great. Anyways, they're going to arrest and charge people with significant national security matters. In other words, they're going to arrest people for being Chinese spies. Chinese spies. Department of Justice. People are conspiring to act as Chinese agents. We're getting a lot of that the last few years, right? But I have a very, very serious question. If you're not a registered foreign agent, meaning you have to register yourself if you're going to represent another country, right? That's a crime. Well, why isn't Hunter and why isn't Joe Biden being arrested for the very same thing? How much evidence has to be out there that Hunter is taking money from China and selling influence, peddling influence, giving the Bidens money? And they've been doing this, folks, not just for the last 2 years, but well over a decade. If they're doing this, that's a serious crime. Why isn't the FBI and the Department of Justice arresting them and charging them? It's a serious question. It really is. You know, and this was crazy today. Congress is like the Antiques Roadshow now. And it is a shit show roadshow. Apparently they're in New York. Well, Jim Jordan's the subject of this, but Jerry No Nads Nadler, right? They're holding a hearing on New York City crime in Congress, right? So they're dragging all of the dirty laundry of New York out for the world to see. And on, Jerry Nadler fucking fell asleep during hearings for the last, 10 years? He wore his mask on his chin while telling everyone else to put on masks. Well, they had a hearing called Victims of Violent Crime in Manhattan. Well, who's in charge of Manhattan? Is Trump? Is Jim Jordan? Is Representative from Ohio Jim Jordan in charge? Well, Nadler said that Jim Jordan is doing the bidding for Donald Trump. People laughed at him and started mocking Nadler over this, folks. I think America is waking up, and you and I have a job. You and I have a job to help them wake up by telling them about this shit, by sending them news stories, by sending them to this video, the Prepared Mind. What better way to help them wake up, right, than to show them the shit that's going on right in front of them? Now, a woman came to talk to these idiots in Congress, right? And this one lady completely went off on Alvin Bragg. That's right, the district attorney for Manhattan, who is trying to prosecute Trump, right? She said, quote, she has a problem. Oh, by the way, her son was killed by people who were not good. They're evil bastards. And Alvin Bragg set him free. Yet he's going after Trump. She said, that's why I walked away from the plantation of the Democrat Party. Right? That's why I walked away from the plantation of the Democrat Party. I think all people, regardless of color or gender or ethnicity, should walk away from anything having to do with these socialist pieces of crap. This lady's son, the murderer of her son, was set loose by Alvin Bragg, yet he wants to fry and prosecute Trump. Seriously. Now, Adam Schiff, who is part of this House Judiciary Committee hearing on the violence and crime in New York City, right? He tried talking and someone screamed, "You're a scumbag." What the hell? If Congress isn't going to do anything to help you and me, why should we give a shit? If the majority of these scumbags are just going to sell us out, if a handful, several handfuls, 40 plus out of 400 are Chinese citizens working for China, they're all scumbags, folks. Until they stand up and demand freedom and liberty for us and our constitutional rights be preserved 100%, and the government steps back and gives us our money back and stops stealing from us, right? And Adam Schiff, folks, is the worst amongst them. I say calling a spade is a good idea. And I say that calling Schiff as a scumbag and a liar and everything else is because he is. And these people literally have the power to control the federal government. They have the power of the federal government, and they use it to violate our rights. And then tell us, right? Tell us what our limitations are. The state of Washington can say, right, that they're going to take your kid away from you if your kid wants something that is going to damage their body, mutilate them, and change their life forever, and psychologically damage them. If you don't agree with that, then they'll take your kid away and they'll do it for you or for them, right? So when Elon Musk tweeted, any parent or doctor who sterilizes a child before they are a consenting adult, meaning a legal adult, they should go to prison for life, right? Children are children, right? And they make bad decisions. So why should we allow them to mutilate themselves? And why should parents have to forfeit their rights? Folks, the left, the political left, wants us to fight in the street over this issue, gender transition, over the issue of BLM, over the issue of Antifa, over the issue of everything and anything. Right? Congressmen and senators, what do they want? What have they done for us? All they want us to do is sit back and allow them to take care of the problems, and they don't. And that's why we have people like Nonads Nadler and Adam Shifty Shithead Schiff sitting in Congress trying to steal our rights. We got President Biden, who gets back from a mini vacation in Ireland where he probably shook down their government for funds. You know, he wants his 10%. And sniffed all the girls he could. Then he comes home and he says, hey, I'm going to take a week off. I'm kind of tired. But in the meantime, his administration will be out there trying to take your gun rights away and introduce more common sense things like a smart switch in your gun. Oh, yeah. And who's going to pay for that? And what does that do to the cost of a weapon? The left wants us fighting in the streets. I think they should all be impeached. They should all be removed. I think they should all be forced out of the country. You cannot serve two nations at once. You can't tell me that you've taken the oath to pretend and protect and defend the Constitution, and in the next breath, do everything you can to unravel and destroy the Constitution and the law of the land. This is where we're at, folks. This is the essence of SHTF with these asswipes. It truly is. Okay, let's do this. Uman, I know we're coming to the half-hour mark. Let us transition over. I'm sorry, I just had to do that. We're not going to transition our gender and our testicles and ovaries. We're just going to transition from my monologue to your questions and thoughts in the inner circle. Woo. Cold drink, hard work out there. And it's just begun to get hot, folks. All right, Uman, where do we want to go? Where do we want to start first? Uh-oh, here we go. Uman wants to start off, comes right out the gate. Walmart gave notice late last week that they were closing 4 stores, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, in Chicago, and shut them all down yesterday. Now, they were losing tens of millions of dollars in theft and damage, employees getting attacked, and the community, the Chicago community, is blaming the evil corporation, folks, for deliberately destroying their community and creating a food desert. Now, I tell you what, the people of America have gotten exactly what they wanted. Walmart came in and says, we're going to offer you cheap food and cheap products. And instead of going to mom and pop stores and paying a few bucks more here and a few bucks more there, people took the bait. They went and shopped at Walmart, and guess what? Mom and pop, those stores, whether they be grocery stores or sporting goods stores, clothing stores, pharmacies, whatever you want to call a Walmart, a shoe store, a sporting goods and automotive store, a housing goods store, furniture store, an electronics store. See where I'm going? People put all those mom and pop stores out of business. The corner store, the liquor store, the drugstore. That's right. And now they decided, these people in the community everywhere across America, not just in Chicago, then they turn around and go, well, fuck those big stores, right? And the homeless and these ghetto communities have fought and pushed and fought and pushed, and their community leaders in government made it, well, unenforceable. That's right. You could steal up to $800 or $900 at a time. Every person every day could go into a store and steal that much stuff, and no one in the store would stop you, and the police wouldn't respond if they were called, and no charges would be pressed if they caught someone by any accidental chance. So these stores literally lost tens of millions of dollars in merchandise. And they said, fuck it, we're closing. Because we're losing money now. We're not making money, but they leave. And yeah, now you have a food desert, an electronics desert. You have nothing there. Because you have these superstores like Walmart and Kmart and Target and Kroger's and every other store that decides it's going to sell everything it can to everyone. So here we are, folks. People did it to themselves by shopping at shithole stores like Walmart, trying to save a buck. And now those stores are closed because everyone wanted to screw them back. And they screwed Walmart back, but now they've shut the store, and where's the mom and pops? They sold out and retired down in Florida. I'm sure they're in the Villages or Gainesville, or maybe they're in, I don't know, fucking Pensacola or some shit. Right? They're done. They left. Well, this is the attitude, folks. And this is a great topic, and I want to thank you, Uman, for bringing it up. Because we had something else happen over the weekend. A mob of unruly scumbags ransacked. They what do you call that when they go into a store? Oh, you hang on to that one right there, man. Hang on to that one, Uman. Don't go anywhere with that. All right. Flash mob. They flash mobbed a gas station in Compton, California. That's the ghetto, once again, in California. And they looted everything. They cleaned the fucking store out, from the snacks all the way to the prophylactics. Understand, folks, shit hits the fan has hit the fan. And we are slowly seeing it accelerate and get worse and worse and worse, and a little more and a little more, a little worse and a little worse and a little worse. And it's continuing. It's absolutely continuing. This situation is going to be your home unless you are prepped, unless you have a plan, and unless you are mentally ready. Because this was a shit it's the fan style mob attack on a store. When they shut down the Food Mart, the Walmart, the Food Mart, Save a Lot, Pack and Save, when they shut down these stores and people start running out of food and they get hungry, they're going to go door to door and ransack people's homes, just like they did this gas station. They will charge through the door. They will go into your kitchen. They'll take everything they can get their hands on and they'll run out. You'll be without food. You will be without food. And whatever else they can carry off. Are you prepared for SHTF? Now, let us move on to Uman, who brings up the Summer of Love in 2023. Last time we had a Summer of Love, it was 2020, right? During cerveza bug lockdowns. Everyone stay at home. No one come out. Wear a mask. You're killing people. And then lo and behold, they say, well, except Antifa and people of color who want to come out and complain about racism. That's an acceptable risk. Talk about what a bunch of bullshit. They want us to fucking believe that they can come out and protest because they're emotionally upset, yet we have to stay home because we're more reserved and intelligent. Fucking circus that is the government, folks. Anyways, in the Summer of Love 2023, according to Uman, starting early in Chicago. Oh, it's starting, folks. You bet. The bunch of kids were, quote, wilding. What is this, right? Lord of the Flies. They were burning, looting, attempted murdering over the weekend on Michigan Avenue. I guess they heard that in Compton, California, which is down by LA in the shithole ghetto zones, they're like, hey, if they can get away with doing that, then we're going to do our own shit. Well, I remember years ago when Chris P. Bacon was telling me about Chicago and what was happening to the Golden Mile or the Glorious Mile or whatever that mile is called. Basically, it's Chicago's Fifth Avenue. And what happened to the real Fifth Avenue in New York City during the Summer of Love? All these same scumbags went up and down the streets, breaking windows in every store. Versace, toast. Coach, toast. Right? Louis Vuitton, toast. Name it. Saks Fifth Avenue, toast. Every store on Fifth Avenue destroyed. Windows boarded up, closed, done. They're doing it again. They're starting again. There's a purpose behind it, folks. There's a reason. Are you prepared? Now, once again, in 2020, what happened with Antifa? Well, they came out and said, hey, we're coming out to the suburbs. That's where you people, you racist white people are hiding, is in the suburbs. And we're going to come and get you. Oh, you fucking try it. They tried it, folks, and they got their asses hammered. I think there were probably more Antifa shot that weren't reported. And I'm not condoning or glamorizing violence. I'm saying this is a reality. But they want to do it, folks. They want to come back out. Only this time, it's not just BLM. It's not just Antifa. They also have their trans morons. Every old, stinking, filthy hippie from the 60s that didn't get enough is going to come out and get some more. Every ghetto rat piece of shit is going to leave the ghetto because, well, there's not much left to loot there. And that's why they leave the ghettos in Chicago and they head to the Golden Mile or whatever it's called. They go downtown. They hop on the public transit and go to where the money's at and start looting and destroying. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to close down. Why would any high dollar business stay in a city that is lawless? New York City, it's a lawless piece of shit paradise. Well, unless your name is Trump, and then they're going to blame every crime on you and try prosecuting you for it. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. And it's going to get worse. Are you ready? All right, man, let's keep going, dude. Let's roll. And no, it had to be chin music. And he says this, John, as fast as things are accelerating at breakneck speed, I have to believe calls for a national divorce will as well. Care to give me odds on whether or not we even make it through the 24 election? Yeah, I'll give you some odds, man. I say it's 100-1 that we have a national divorce before 2024 and the election and the results. Because I don't think Americans are going to be pissed off enough to scream and yell that they want out of the relationship known as the United States of America. Now understand this, please. I want everyone to understand. If your state wants to leave the Union, your state does not become a communist utopia. You see, the state has a constitution, and they have to make their constitution before they can become a state in the United States of America. So every state, folks, has a constitution. Every state has a First Amendment. Every state has a Second Amendment. Freedom of speech and gun control, or I'm sorry, gun rights, not gun control. Every state has a Third Amendment, a Fourth, a Fifth, a Sixth, a Seventh. Every state has a Bill of Rights that mirrors mirrors the U.S. Constitution. So if your state leaves the U.S. Constitution and Washington, D.C. in a divorce, guess what? You still have rights. They don't go away. Your rights pre-exist state and federal government. Your rights to property also pre-exist. And we need to get back to our rights. Period. Enough of this government has a say in everything in our life. Fuck that. We've seen where that's gotten us. Anyways, Chin, 100 to 1. You put up 1 penny and I'll pay 100. I'll pay 100 pennies out if I'm wrong. And there's a state leaves the union before. Now, after 2024, I bet the calls for it will get even louder. Even louder. You know what I hope for? I hope there's a Republican sweep, a Republican president, and it's Trump. I hope there's a Republican Congress, and they just throw out dipshit McCarthy, who has not said impeach Biden once. And I hope we get a Republican Senate, and they throw out pieces of shit like Lindsey Graham and Turtles McConnell and every other soft, limp, shall we say, rhino Republican, Mitt Romney types that are there to enrich themselves and have multiple citizenship status so they can go anywhere in the world and take their money with them. Oh, these people, folks, they're just absolute shitholes. They are. They really are. They represent the worst in humanity. They don't represent America. They represent the worst in our country. All right. I know we've got a lot to talk about, so let me back off there and ask Uman again, where are we going? What are we going to talk about next? And we got Charles Gentry. He says the trigger lock when I was a child was the word no. And if it's not yours, don't touch it. Back up mommy and daddy with an anti-brat twig. I tell you, yeah, I'm not big. I understand the need or the want or desire for some person or people to have locks, a trigger lock. I get it. If you want one, put one on your gun. Stop telling me what to do. Stop forcing others to do what you want. It's the same old communist crap. They think everyone should turn in their guns except them because they are smart and they know better. And they're the exception to the rule. And everyone should pay taxes, 100% of their money, except them, because they worked hard for their money. And it's just not fair to ask them. Unbelievable. And it's going to continue, right? Parents need to take a branch. I am not recommending violence or child abuse or anything else. But there was an old expression, spare the rod, spoil the child. Disciplining a child with a swat on the ass. How is that different than the government disciplining us by throwing us on the fucking ground and handcuffing us and throwing us in a car and ruining our life and stealing tens of thousands of dollars of our individual money to defend ourselves if they merely decide in their mind that you may have had too much to drink. You don't have to be in a car wreck. You don't have to have caused damage to property or loss of life or damage and injury to other life. It's merely a policeman saying he thinks you drank too much and you argue with them. They throw you to the ground and destroy you. That's fine. But don't you dare spank a child or tell a child, no, they can't have that sex change operation that their fruitcake trans teacher told them they should have. Right. Trigger lock. Yeah. Don't play with guns. They're not toys. Wow. Oh, by the way, apparently Senator Festerman has returned to Washington, D.C. after a 2-month absence. And apparently he's dressed like a freaking slob. Apparently he's dazed and confused, folks. Unbelievable. He received treatment for severe depression. As a candidate, he was diagnosed with mental disabilities. Unbelievable. But we were told we need to have people with mental problems in Congress so they can represent other people who are fucked in the head. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And from the psychiatric ward, meaning he's nuts, he was sponsoring bills. Unbelievable. He says, it's great to be back. He doesn't probably have any idea where the fuck he's even at. Unbelievable, folks. This is our government. This is our government. And they have the right to tax you, they claim. They have the power and the authority to take your money, your property from you and give it to others. They have the right and the power and authority to take your child from you. What happens if your child says that they want $100,000 in cash and they think you should have to take it out of your house, out of your equity, the value of your home, and give it to them? Will the state of Washington say anytime a child wants money, you have to give it to them, whether you like it or not, or you're going to lose power? What's the difference? There's no difference. You can't say, well, one's for an operation and the other is for, well, it's a minor child. They need to hear the word no a lot more than they do. They need to be told, yeah, you did great, but you don't get a trophy for everything. Unbelievable. I'll stop right there. Man, where do we want to go next? And we have the Charlanator stepping up, who says, one of my coworkers took a job that requires him to go into the city of Chicago 3 times a week. Not 1, not 2, but 3 times a week. I told him, you won't find me going into the city anymore. Even for $30,000 a year pay increase, I wouldn't do it. Well, I tell you what, why would anyone? People are leaving New York City, they're leaving Chicago, Illinois, and other Illinois cities. They're leaving California cities, LA, San Francisco, Sacramento. They're leaving. They're taking their money, they're selling what they have, and they're leaving. They're taking their cash, they're taking their investments, and they're leaving. So how are you going to get people to live there? Well, you offer them more money. Well, how are you going to pay them if there's no decent businesses there doing business? And it's incredible, folks. I've been from sea to shining sea in this country. And I've been over the sea and, well, even under the sea. And I don't mean that in a Disney kind of way. Under the sea. No. And I've seen incredible amounts of housing that has been built and cities that have been built up. And they're just absolute shitholes being run by Democrats. It's unbelievable how they waste your money and destroy your lives, our lives. I wouldn't do it either, Charlanator, not for 30 grand more than what I make now. Why would I do that? My lifestyle matters the most. It is. I am a contractor and I do my job and I go home and I'm done. That's it. If I'm a bodyguard, I go bodyguard and I'm done. If I'm John Q. Citizen, I do what citizens do and I'm done. Fuck everyone. They have done nothing but bring down doom and destruction on all of us with all of their left-wing nonsense. There's going to be hell to pay for it. Are you prepared? You see an unruly mob of teens coming through the neighborhood and they're just chimping away. They're just being little animals. They're just having a good old time kicking in doors. You going to tolerate that in your neighborhood? What if they start dragging women out by the hair and abusing people and kicking the shit out of men? Are you going to take that? Or what if they do what they're doing in schools and grab your kids out of your house and make them get on their knees and swear allegiance to BLM or Antifa? Or take some kind of a trans oath that they promise and swear to be good to them always, and force people and beat the shit out of them. How far are you going to be pushed, Mr. and Mrs. America? Are you going to wait for some scumbag like Dianne Feinstein to say, turn in your guns and you have to do it, no, screw them. We're in big, big, big trouble, folks. Big trouble. I have no love for any of these people. Not one bit. I really don't. I'm zooming in. All right, man, let's go. Let's see where we want to go next. I know we got a lot of chin music again. He says, John, did you see the Obama appointed judge in Missouri that ordered 2 teachers who refused to teach critical race theory to pay $300,000 in damages? I'll tell you what, Mr. Chin, no, I did not. I did not see that. Do I believe it? Yes, I believe that a judge would try and do that. Where is the damage? See, this is, it's an unusual punishment. It is a punishment that has nothing to do with, right, what has occurred. Is refusing to teach a crime? Is refusing to teach something that you think violates your oath and code of ethics? Is that a crime? If they were doing a bad job, refusing to teach critical race theory, which is, by the way, one of the most disgusting, filthy, fucked up lies ever told, because it's told as if they are authoritative and correct, and they're not. If they've done something wrong in their job, then they should be fired. But down in Florida, at the liberal school in the liberal city, where there are liberal teachers and apparently liberal parents, the school teacher can threaten, who is a, the trans school teacher can threaten to kill his students or her students or its students or whatever the hell it is, and not lose its job. But if you refuse to teach their filthy, disgusting indoctrination, Marxist, racist, just perverted crap, you can be fined. Where's the damage? This should be thrown out on appeal. But what's disgusting is the government does this. They use the power of government to push their personal agendas, their personal politics, and their personal anti-American crap. The appellate judge that oversees this and overturns it should sanction the lower court judge and find them guilty of malfeasance of office, dereliction of duty, and constitutional violation of people in their court. And they should be thrown in fucking jail. That's what I think. I think that would be very fitting. But what do I know, right? What do I know? There we are. Okay, Uman, who do we have next? I know we got a lot to talk about, and it's Orlando. He says, I got to tell you, things and people are effed up. I don't hold much hope for people to stand up and fight. More likely, we'll have to defend ourselves against them and non-preppers. Well, that's why our job here, Orlando, is so important. I really believe that we do need to advise people as much as possible about what is coming. Now, I've been very surprised and pleased here in the South that some of the most timid people, seemingly timid, kind-hearted people, seemingly kind-hearted, gentle folk, gentle, kind, simple, are also very knowledgeable and very Second Amendment oriented. I've just run into people the last couple of months who are like, you know what? If things get out of hand, I'm planning on getting kind of gunsy with them. If you know what I'm like, gunsy. What kind of word is that? Right? They're like, yeah, I'm going to pull out the the old tool, and I'm like, wow, folks, that's coming from women. That's coming from gentle folk who just like they're very calm. They're very matter of fact. Now, I know that for a lot of us, if you say anything too loud, you're afraid that the police will come out, right, and start asking you questions. So you try not to sound threatening or dangerous. And other people, that's all they do is sound threatening and dangerous. I'm going to shoot everybody and kick everyone's ass, and and they're full of shit, right? They're completely Sun Tzuing it, right? They're weak, so they're pretending to be strong. But there's a lot of people out there who are strong, yet they put a weak appearance out there, right? They don't want to play their hand. So it's interesting, Orlando. Is it the people that are in our neighborhoods or the people that we associate with? Is it the geographic location where we're at that either supports or hampers people's ability to say what they really believe and enforce their rights? I mean, kind of like you hear about the story about the man whose daughter was assaulted. And people are like, if that was my daughter, I'd kill that son of a bitch. And in some cases, the dad does that. In other cases, the dad doesn't. And it's like, well, what do you do? Right? Well, if the dad goes and kills the son of a bitch, then he's going to be tried for murder. Right? Well, you're not allowed to take the law into your own hands. Well, it'd be nice if the government took the law into its hands, which it has been authorized to do, and actually do its fucking job. Well, here we are, folks. 2023, is the government doing its job? Or is the government busy screwing with our rights, trying to put us down, regulate us, tax the shit out of us, and then enrich themselves? I know what the government's trying to do. Just what I said. Screw us over regulate us, destroy our rights, our country, our constitution, tax the fuck out of us, and enrich themselves. That is the Biden program. All right, man. Thank you, Orlando. Great. It's a great thing and a great perspective to have. But can we put Orlando back up there? There's something that I know this topic has come up a bunch. When people are like, you know what? I don't have much confidence in the people in my city and my state around me. I just don't believe they're going to stand up and do anything. I don't, as Orlando says, I don't hold much hope for people to stand up and fight. Good. Don't rely on others. This message is for me, for Orlando, for everybody. Don't rely on others to stand up for you. Stand up for yourself. Don't rely on others to fight for you. Fight for yourself. He says, most likely we'll have to defend ourselves. That is correct. Get ready to defend yourself. Don't wait for others. Don't allow others. Don't expect others. Stand up and be prepared to fight for yourself. And you'll be surprised, I think, how many people will be standing next to you doing the exact same fucking thing. I saw it in 2020 in California. People coming out and saying, you won't come and fuck our town up. Get the fuck out of here, you bunch of BLM Antifa fucks. And in some cases, they had to beat the shit out of them. And it happened. In Bethel, Ohio, it happened and made national news because some idiot teacher, one idiot teacher, decided to make everyone's life a hell. Made everyone's life hell by accusing a town of being racist because she was a thin-skinned, pea-brained, left-wing, self-loathing, liberal moron. And she thought she would turn BLM loose on the little town of Bethel, Ohio. And who came out to defend it? Every fucking buddy. Business owners, citizens, and a lot of bikers, a lot of rednecks, a lot of hillbillies. They came out to defend their town and their way of life and their belief system from these idiots in the left. All right, enough of that. We're at the 1 hour mark. Man, do we have any more? Have we gone through it all? Nope, let's end it with Charles Gentry. And he says, I think I have figured out where America went wrong. At some point between World War II and the year 2000, America became a country of victims. What happened to the victors that won World War II? I'll tell you what, they all died. They're all dead. If they're not dead, if we still have veterans from World War II, well, God bless them. But they were far beyond, folks, being able to do little more than offer quiet whispers of wisdom at their ages. But I'll tell you this. The country became a country of victims. not because of patriots, but it's because of people who are Democrats and like Democrats and Democrat-minded. They have used sympathy to get their way. They have used guilt to get their way. Sympathy and guilt. That is what a victim uses, right? When someone is a false victim, they want others to feel guilty and join them. There's your BLM. There's your Antifa. There's your LGB. There's your Democrats. Oh, woe is me. You should feel sorry for me. They want pity and sympathy in order to get you to come to their side. And if you don't go to their side, then they're like, well, what kind of scumbag are you supporting these Vietnam fighters? They're baby killers. There's your guilt. There's your guilt they used to throw on people. Now they're pro-baby killers, the Democrats. They flipped a 180. Now they're pro-kill a baby. And how dare you, these poor women out here that can't go get abortion after abortion. Oh, they've been victimized, right? They're now victims of abusive government, right? It's interesting, folks. Back when Rage Against the Machine first came out, right? Their big song was "Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me." That was a song. I won't do what you tell me, right? Screaming and yelling in the microphone. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Now it's, fuck you, you'll do what the government tells you. And that's coming from the same party. How can they flip a 180? How can they do that? Well, it's because it's about guilt. It's about control. It's about them being the victim always. My story has always been, don't tell me what to do because I won't do what you tell me. Right? I have no obligation to obey anyone other than myself and my belief system. And if that violates the law, then go ahead and try throwing me in prison for it. But I don't break the law because I know what the law is. Right? You want people that break the law? Go to a school. Go to a school where grown-ups are putting pornographic, transgender, perverted shit in front of children. That's a violation of the law. That right there is a violation of the law. All right, folks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bid you farewell. Oh, Chin Music said the hits just keep coming and the beatings will continue until morale improves. I've heard that before, man. I tell you, it is coming, folks. The beatings are going to come and continue until morale improves. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. Godspeed. Semper Fi. Thank you for supporting this channel. Thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs up. Hit subscribe. Thank you for subscribing. Share that link right up there. Thank you for sharing the link. Do your part. Prep to action. Take action. No one's going to defend you. Defend yourself. No one's going to protect you. Protect yourself. No one's going to save you. Save yourself. Godspeed, Semper Fi.